Hello again. Second time this week I'm standing in for a friend. It's lovely to be with you, and I hope you will enjoy this psalm, which is Psalm 127. Unless the Lord builds a house, the builders labour in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the guards stand watch in vain. In vain you rise early and stay up late, toiling for food to eat, for he grants sleep to those he loves. Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from him. Like arrows in the hands of a warrior are children born in one's youth. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. They will not be put to shame when they contend with their opponents in court. And this is the word of the Lord. It seems quite obvious that if a family isn't built on love, then that family will suffer. It doesn't appear to matter much what type of house or job or style of living you have, but it is essential that there is love. Otherwise, there will be suffering. To me, this is said in the words, unless the Lord builds a house, the builders labour in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the guards stand watch in vain. Because God is love, and everything about his character is based on love, then if you build on God, if God builds the house and the city, then he will build with love and care and consideration. Some of the most contented families I know are infused with love for one another and for God. They aren't shouting about it. They don't tell anyone that they're perfect. They just have an aura of graciousness that makes me want what they've got. And so that makes me think, why haven't the rest of the world recognized that having God built into their lives is the best thing they could have? A couple of weeks ago, I was listening to a Radio 4 or some other talk station while I was being a taxi for my grandson. The conversation was about a book one of the presenters had written, which advocated the return of kindness. The sort of kindness you and me take for granted, not letting a door slam in someone's face, smiling at a shop assistant. I couldn't see why there was a conversation about it. It seemed so obvious. But the other presenter objected and thought that we should not be more kind and that people would just see us as weak doormats to be pushed aside, especially in the cutthroat world of big business. If an office worker offered to make coffee for a co-worker, that office worker would find themselves in that junior position whether they liked it or not. If a manager didn't scowl at their workforce, then the workforce wouldn't respect them. It was the most frustrating radio program I'd ever listened to because the exact opposite was the truth. When I was a student nurse, the matron was known for being fierce. Like most senior nurses or sisters were in those days, that was the norm. One day I was walking down the main corridor and matron was walking the opposite way. I said, because I'd been brought up with manners, "Good morning, matron." She turned on her heel and said, "You do not speak to me unless I have given you permission," and stormed off. That was the moment all respect for her left me, never to return. The sort of kindness and goodness that Jesus showed to the world shows us how to build our houses with God at the centre, and shows us how our cities and communities can be models for the rest of the world, places of generosity and gentleness, love and beauty. Wouldn't it be incredible if every home, every city, every country had God at their centre, with his influence of love being poured over them? But it has to start somewhere. So let it begin with me. May I finish with a prayer? Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, true faith in you. Amen. Bye for now. Take care. See you soon. God bless.